You're listening to Catholic Chicago. Ahead, the Archdiocese of Chicago brings you programs about the people, events, and issues that touch our lives. Welcome to Catholic Chicago.
Hello, and thank you for joining us here at the Black Catholic Initiative radio show, where we talk about the events that affect the Black Catholic community here in the Archdiocese of Chicago. I'm Father Michael Trail, and I'm honored to be the host and also serve as the pastor of St. Thomas the Apostle Catholic Church in the Hyde Park neighborhood of Chicago. You can also find this episode of the Black Catholic Initiative on our YouTube channel, Catholic Chicago, and everywhere that you can get your podcasts. We'll also be on WNDZ 750 AM. I am honored today to have a longtime friend join me today. I'm very honored today to welcome Kianda Boyd, who is a parishioner at St. Catherine Drexel and a youth minister, a Tolton scholar, and honestly just a longtime friend. So Kianda, welcome.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
It is good to see you.
It's a little awkward.
No, it's great. It has been a long time, you know. So Kianda, you bring just a whole range of wealth and experience, and but one of the things that we're doing here on our radio show is just to kind of expose people to the people who make up our pews and the people who worship in our parishes, and so I'm honored to have you here today. So, Kianda, I want everybody to know everything about you. So tell us about yourself.
That's a long list.
I know.
Hi, my name is Kianda Boyd. I've been Catholic since I was 3.
Yep.
The parish that I went to was St. Albie's, but it went through Renew My Church and is now called St. Catherine Drexel Parish. It's on 91st and Stony Island. What else? I'm in youth ministry. I've been in youth ministry since 2015, right after I graduated college. So, yeah, that's been my baby.
I love it.
I know. And now I am a Tolton scholar at CTU, which I love. It's giving me a wide range of things that I want to do as far as youth ministry, young adults, and giving me more of a perspective of what it entails about being a youth minister.
That's awesome.
Which I love.
That's awesome. No, and I think that's also one of the reasons I wanted to bring you on here today, because I wanted to talk about youth and young adult ministry, especially in the Black Catholic context. And I think that's so important for our community. I think it's as we think about our whole life of faith, right? That stage in development of youth and young adults, that's a segment that needs to be fostered and developed. And I really want to commend you on that work. So. You've been doing this since 2015, so talk to me about what's it been like? What are some things that you've done? What have been some joys and some passions of yours as you've done youth ministry since 2015?
Jeez.
I know.
Youth ministry since 15 has truly changed, and I have to give grace and honor to the late pastor, Father Doris, because he was the one who pushed me to do youth ministry, and I am so grateful for him, because without him I don't think I will actually be here, because you know how it is for young adults. It's hard graduating from college and then trying to get back into the church,
right,
and build a community with the people that's your age.
Right.
So without him I wouldn't be here, but I will say youth ministry has grown for me. I have done youth retreats, youth lock-ins, plays, concerts, outings, theology work as well with the youth, which I love. But, COVID hit and it was like kind of on a standstill for 2 years probably. And I'm sure the kids miss it as well.
Sure. I know while COVID changed a lot of things, I know that you were still working with them, and I think it's really cool to see how your own passion for youth ministry is made stronger through your work as a Tolton Scholar. I think that's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit more about talk to me a little bit more about some of the people that you minister to. Like, what have their experiences been? Just kind of flesh out some of those youths that you minister to.
So the kids that I actually minister to at St. Catherine Drexel is literally the same kids where I was when I was younger. Just looking for someone to listen to them, and which I am glad to be an outlet for them, because sometimes it's hard to express how you feel to an older adult because they really don't understand, or they forgot where they came from.
Right.
So it's hard for them to like really relate to the kids. And I feel like I do relate to the kids more because I'm willing to learn and listen to them, because you never know, they can change your outlet on certain things.
I know.
And which I feel like, as being a young adult now, that we have to listen to our youth, because they're going to be the ones to change the generation moving forward.
Oh, definitely. That's for sure. And Kianda, so for those of you who don't know, Kianda and I are friends on Instagram, and I check in on her all the time. And I know, even outside of youth ministry, you're doing a lot of cool stuff and a lot of good work. And you have a latest project going on right now with your running group. So talk to me a little bit about that.
So a lot of people say like, oh, you're in youth ministry, that's all you do. And I say, I love the kids. So
Right.
During COVID, I didn't really get the chance to use my ministry work, which I was kind of a little down about that, because, COVID, we had to, be distant from each other.
Right.
So I needed to do something that gives me a sense of joy, is by working with the kids. So what I did was I took a passion that I love, which is track and field, and I wanted to bring it to the community that would serve me, which is District 218. That's out of the southwest suburbs in Alsub, Crestwood, Oakland, Chicago Ridge, and Blue Island.
Great.
And I did an AAU track and field program with the kids there. We had 65 kids that was on the team, which was amazing to be our first year. But also we had 6 athletes that went to the Junior Olympics this past summer, and they did phenomenal. And I'm just so proud of them. They just, I can't wait for next year.
That's awesome. That's awesome. See, this is why I just really admire you, just because, you have all these great gifts and talents, and you put them to use, and I think that's the whole point of us, is we're trying to live out our life and live out our faith, right? It's just taking the gifts that God gave us and putting them to the use for God's people. So I really want to commend you on that. That's awesome.
Thank you.
No, really, really cool. I know that, with your passion for, for track and field, for youth, and for stuff like that, I want the people to learn a little bit more about you. Did you have an experience when you were young in youth ministry or anything like that while you were young?
Yes. So at St. Albie's, because when I was young, it was at St. Albie's.
Right.
We had this youth group called Youth for Christ, and I was a part of it. And it wasn't like the ministry that I do now. I think it's just because we didn't really do as much.
Sure.
And the ministry that I created, we do a lot, because I'd rather the kids be busy than not busy.
Right.
So, I mean, the ministry did serve me well, but I had to revamp it in a way that the kids now can understand, okay, this is how youth ministry is supposed to go.
Right.
Like, you're constantly busy and you constantly giving to the Lord.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I think that's awesome. The fact that through your work and through the work that you do with others, you can create a place where, really a place where they can thrive and be themselves. They do that. They have that place at school. They have that place at home. But for you to be able to have that, to create a space and a place for them in church, right, which is another one of their homes, I think that's absolutely incredible.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the nice thing about it. But I'm sure it must keep you very, very busy on top of everything else that you're doing, I'm sure.
Yes.
Yeah, because not only are you doing all this great work in youth ministry, you have a good professional career, you're doing a lot of great things, and it's really exciting. So.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. We're going to take this opportunity to take a quick break, and stick around. After our commercial break, we're going to keep our conversation going with Kianda and talk about some of the things that are looking forward to ahead.
Sunday, September 18, Catholic Charities is hosting a reunion for anyone who was involved in St. Vincent's Orphanage, the life-affirming agency that helped establish thousands of families at 721 North LaSalle Street in Chicago over 91 years. Tours of the building begin at 10 o'clock in the morning. Mass will be celebrated at noon with a reception to follow. Adoptees, adoptive parents, staff members, volunteers, and friends of St. Vincent's are all welcome to attend. These annual reunions offer adopted persons a chance to see where their lives began, where they were baptized, and to meet some of the people who cared for them. Everyone found love and support when they came to St. Vincent's. This event is free, but registration is required. Call 312-655-7093. That's 312-655-7093.
Year 44 for me teaching. When I started here, there were teachers here that had taught me when I was a student. Now I'm the old person. Right now, I teach junior high math. I love when kids find what I'm teaching to be fun and they get it. I see that light bulb go off and it's a thrill. People are always amazed. What? You're here for 44 years? It's hard for me to believe, frankly. I love what I do. Every summer I think, oh, I miss the classroom. Even on the weekends, I think I can't wait to get back on Monday and teach those quadratic equations.
Shape the next generation of leaders. Teach. Apply today at archchicago.org/schooljobs.
Catholic Charities St. Martin de Porres Society offers meaningful conversation with compelling speakers to discuss the needs of our region, nation, and world, and the power of faith in meeting those needs. On Wednesday, September 28th at 6:30 p.m., Sally Blount and Father James Martin will participate in a special online event, Putting Faith into Action, Becoming Builders of a Better World. To register for this free event, visit athenaeumcenter.org/events. That's ATHENAEUM center.org. You can also email us at partners@catholiccharities.net for more information. Join us as we learn more about the charitable works of the Church and inspire each other to live our faith in new ways.
Hi, and welcome back to the Black Catholic Initiative radio show, where we're talking about Black Catholic issues that are here in the Archdiocese of Chicago. My name is Father Michael Trell, and I'm honored to be the host. And again, we are honored to have Kianda Boyd, a parishioner of St. Catherine Drexel and a youth minister in the Archdiocese, as my guest here. So as we're continuing our conversation. You know, Kianda, I really wanted people to know about you, so we spent the first half just hearing a little bit about you historically, and I want people to continue to get to know you just because I think you're an awesome person. And so tell me a little bit about some of the stuff that you're doing now. I know you've been in the Tolton Scholar Program for a couple years. Share a little bit about that.
So I started the program in 2019 as being a Tolton Scholar. So right now it's probably going into my third year. And now I am in my internship. And my internship, my placement is at St. Moses the Black Parish, which Father Matt O'Donnell is my site supervisor, and he's also the pastor at St. Moses the Black. And I'm excited because now I get to work with a different community, different youth, and bringing more youth ministry and young adults back into that parish because it wasn't really acclimated there. So I'm excited to build something within that community.
That's awesome. Share a little bit about the Tolton Scholarship, the Tolton Scholars Program for those who aren't familiar.
So the Totem program is for Black Catholics who want to experience youth ministry. Like they want to involve, they want to learn more, and once they graduate, they want to give back to the Archdiocese of Chicago, which working inside of it. So my ultimate goal is to be the youth minister of Vicariate 6, bringing all youth ministries together as one instead of being one entity.
Sure. No, that's awesome. The Tolton Scholar Program is housed out of CTU, Catholic Theological Union, over in Hyde Park, in my neighborhood and actually in my parish. And CTU has this program for Tolton Scholars, and it's a wonderful program that invites laymen and women to get a theological degree. So I know you're working on your master's right now over there. Which program are you in? What master's program?
Pastoral ministry.
Okay, so you're doing your master's in pastoral ministry, and so it's a great opportunity for laymen and women to get the degree to work professionally within the church, and aspire to do things like how you're doing, Kianda, which I think is really cool.
Thank you.
Yeah. All of this, though, comes from a relationship with Christ, right? Because that's the whole point we do this,
Yes.
It helps us to build a relationship. First and foremost, we do this because we have a relationship with the Lord. So talk to me a little bit about your own relationship with Christ, with the church, kind of how that's grown and flourished over the years.
How much time we have?
Oh, we got all the time in the world.
Okay, so I would say I have been Catholic since I was 3, but when I went away to college at Lewis University, which is not that far, it's in Romeoville, Illinois.
Right.
When I graduated, I wasn't really back in the church. I felt like I was losing my way, and then I got back into church because the Father Doris said, "Hey, I had something I want you to be a part of," which I didn't know at the time would be youth ministry and creating it from the ground up. I didn't know that's what was going to be. And ever since then, I've been evolving within youth ministry. My faith has gotten really stronger, which I love. But then, COVID hit, and I feel like COVID gave everyone a different outlook as far as faith, because I wasn't going to church during COVID.
Right.
Yeah, I may watch it online, but it's different when you sitting in God's house than sitting in your bed with your pajamas on. It's a little different.
Right.
So I would say it turned of course, I'm always going to be Catholic, but I felt like I wasn't really doing what I was supposed to do, was really sitting with God and asking him, okay, how I'm going to get out of this and what I'm going to do.
Right.
So I went to St. Moses the Black because, of course, I had to start my internship, and that was the first time in 2 years that I sat in church, which I was kind of happy to be back in the Lord's house, because I was just like, wow.
Right.
I really missed out on a lot, because you never know what you're really walking into when you go back into church. But it felt good to be back in God's house, because I think that's where I needed to be.
Yeah.
Not to say I was losing my faith, but I felt like it was kind of declining in a way.
Sure.
But I needed to bring myself back, because I know what I ultimately want to do is, be in ministry. And if I need to be in ministry, I have to be at church.
Right.
It has to feed me.
Right.
So I was glad, and I'm glad that I was able to do it in the parish that I am doing my internship.
That's awesome. I thank you. Firstly, I want to say thank you for sharing a little bit of your faith story, because while your faith story is unique to you, I think that kind of those arches and those waves and those real big questions of, who am I? What do I do? I think those questions are a lot of people have those things, and I think about that time out of college that you were just talking about, where you're like, okay, now what do I do? Where do I go? How do I get back in? How do I get back involved? I think people our age deal with that question. I think anybody who's taken their faith even half seriously wrestles with those kind of questions as well. So I think in some senses, by you sharing your story a little bit, I think it might bring some comfort to others to know that they're not alone in that,
Yes.
that those feelings or emotions or whatever it is they experience, they're not, someone else has gone through that too. Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. Being a young adult is hard.
Tell me more about that.
Yeah. It's hard, because no one prepares you for adulting.
I heard it. It is
what?
hard, I know.
They just threw me into this, and
right.
now you're just really just trying to adjust. But I feel like our generation, because we are millennials,
Yes.
we're a little different.
Uh-huh.
We speak our truth,
Right.
whether it's comes off harsh or if it comes off in a nice way. But I feel like we just have a lot built up inside of us that
Sure.
we really don't share.
Right.
And we only share with certain peers. So when it comes to like young adult ministry, which I'm excited about because I never really got to touch base with the young adult community, but I'm also excited because I'm a young adult. So now I get to share how I feel with other young adults, but also tying it back to, okay, what would God do?
Right.
Like, how can I figure this out? And I feel like that is going to be a great space of bringing young adults back into the Catholic faith because we all dwindled out and now come on back.
No, right, exactly. And I think, I'll tell everybody my age. So I'm 32, and I think I won't tell them how old you are, but just to be.
We are the same age.
I know. But, I think the questions that you and I deal with, in our early 30s are different kind of questions that we dealt with when we were 25 or 22 or 18 or, and I'm sure the questions that we deal with when we're 45, we'll look just as good, but
Right.
but when we're 45, it'll be different questions. But I think just having this space in this place right now where we are in our life to really sit and wrestle with those kind of questions, I think is good.
Yes. Yeah.
We got so much time left here, and I just really wanted to. So you're starting your internship at St. Moses the Black, and you have an opportunity to really do some real groundwork and do some practical ministry with the stuff that you learned at Catholic Theological Union as a Tolton Scholar. So talk to me about a little bit what that internship looks like kind of specifically.
So I will say I am very nervous about this internship.
I don't know why.
Even though I have been in ministry since 2015, but I'm very nervous. And I don't know if it's because I'm starting it from the ground up, even though I started youth ministry from the ground up in 2015. But I feel like it's a little different because I attended St. Albie's, so I knew everyone. Now I'm in a different parish where I don't really know anyone besides the staff.
Sure.
So I have to really build relationships with the kids and say, okay, I am the person that's going to be your keeper. So come over to youth ministry, have fun with us. And we could just learn off of each other because as a youth minister, you have to keep evolving with time. Like your ideas have to keep going with the time because the kids can be like, no, I don't want to do no fashion show. That's 2020. And then you're like, well, that's something I used to do when I was back. But then you have to, like I said, you got to keep evolving. Stuff has to change with the times. You can't be the same pastor that you was 5 years ago, right?
Right.
See? You have to change. So I think change is good. But I feel like with me being in a different parish, that it's going to give me a better outlook on how I need to do certain things because this is an place where I don't really know anything. Right.
I will tell you this, out of all the parishes I've ever been at, it is exciting, but it's also very, it can be a little nervous because you meet new people. It's a new community, new dynamic,
Yes.
You're in a different part of the city than you were at St. Catherine Drexel. And so, I will share what's given me comfort over the years is that, people have always been very kind.
Yes.
People have always been very kind, and especially our people. Our people are always so kind. I'll tell you how it is, but they are very kind.
Yes.
Because I think the experience I've had, everybody just wants the best for everybody, and I think that'll be true for you. Actually, I know it'll be true for you too. That everyone's rooting for you in your corner just to help you to be the best person you can be. I think that's what God wants from us. And I think that's what we give to the Lord and we give to our ministry.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
And even the ones that don't root for you, but that's okay because you're still going to keep pushing at the end of the day.
Absolutely, absolutely. We go forth in faith.
Yes.
We've talked a lot about youth ministry in kind of generic terms, but in these last couple of minutes, talk a little bit from your experience, coming from the Black Catholic perspective. You know what I mean? Because that's there are youth ministry that happens all across the archdiocese,
Yes.
but the ministry that we do, the ministry that happens in the Black Catholic context is unique and good and powerful and rich. So what are some things that you hope for your youth ministry in the Black Catholic context?
From what I have learned with being with CTU, but also a Totem Scholar, is that our faith is very rich.
Yeah.
We have history that is amazing, that as far as our music, how we preach, it's just very powerful compared to other Catholic churches.
Right.
But being Black and Catholic, oh, you got a little something in your pocket at the
Right.
end of the day.
Right.
But with the kids is we struggle a little bit.
Sure.
Our babies do struggle. Society is a little different from when we was growing up.
Right.
But then we can also say that as far as our parents, they said our struggles was different from them. So from generation to generation, it's a struggle. But as long as we're there for the youth and guiding them forward, I feel like everything will be okay. But we have to listen. As we get older,
Yeah.
we tend not to listen to our youth because the first thing they're going to say, oh, they don't know nothing.
Right.
But they know a lot.
Yeah.
Those are our gems. Those are our future.
Yeah.
So we have to use them because when you're no longer here, who's going to be the next generation? If you haven't fed into them, then who's going to pass this history along and along? And I feel like maybe if we listen more, the kids will want to be more involved in the church.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think that's a good hope. It's a good prayer, and I also think it's a great way for us to really kind of end our time here. I share those sentiments with you as well. You know that the work that you do, you know, as a youth minister, and the work that you do, the gifts that God has given you as you bring your whole self and your best self to the church and to the ministry that God has entrusted you with, that you know that you continue just to listen, you know, and to guide and to help. I mean, those are all really good and important things. Yes. So, Kianda, I just want to say thank you. It has been a long time, but it has been good to catch up, especially over the radio and on YouTube and everything else in between. So it is good to see you. And thanks so much for sharing a little bit of your story with us here today.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. So, friends, thanks so much for joining us here today. And this has been an episode of the Black Catholic Initiative radio show here at the Archdiocese of Chicago. Again, you can find this podcast on YouTube at our YouTube channel, Catholic Chicago, and anywhere that you can get a podcast. And again, this is also aired on WNDZ 750 AM. And I'm Father Michael Trail. Good night and have a great, God bless you.